Welcome to the Health, Balance, Wellness channel, your haven of peace. If you are one of the many people who suffer from hypertension, I have some great news for you. There is in fact a completely natural remedy, accessible to everyone and at a very low cost, capable of reducing blood pressure in a concrete and effective way. And we are not talking about an unknown supplement or some niche product. It is a simple, natural food rich in beneficial properties. However, I do not want to reveal to you immediately what it is, because it is important to first understand the context in which we find ourselves and the relevance of what you are about to discover. Before continuing, I ask you for a like to support our work. But let's move on. In recent years, hypertension has become an increasingly widespread problem in the population. More and more people discover they have high blood pressure, often without obvious symptoms, but with potentially very dangerous effects on cardiovascular health. The scientific data speaks clearly. Hypertension is among the main causes of cardiac complications, strokes, and kidney disease. For this reason, it is essential to learn how to control it, adopting healthy lifestyles and, when necessary, resorting to the right treatments. Many pharmaceutical companies and supplement manufacturers are promoting solutions to combat high blood pressure. However, the good news is that you may be able to achieve amazing results simply by adding a small teaspoon a day of an all-natural food to your diet, with no significant side effects and many other health benefits. This food not only helps control blood pressure, but it also provides important nutrients that support the overall well-being of the body. Supporting this thesis is a Canadian study of great impact. A group of researchers conducted a very interesting experiment. They selected about 100 people suffering from hypertension and divided them into two groups. One of the groups took a placebo, while the other introduced the mysterious natural food we are talking about into their diet every day. The participants did not know which group they belonged to, only the researchers knew. This type of study is called double-blind, and is used precisely to prevent the placebo effect from altering the results. After 6 months, the data collected were surprising. The group taking the placebo did not show significant improvements, also because they were subjects with chronic hypertension that did not respond even to conventional drugs. On the contrary, the group that had introduced the natural food showed a significant reduction in blood pressure values, both systolic and diastolic. In some cases, the results have been truly surprising. For example, some people have gone from a blood pressure of 158/85 to 143/72. This means a reduction of 15 points for the maximum blood pressure and 10 for the minimum blood pressure. To give you a comparison, consider that some of the main drugs for hypertension, such as calcium antagonists or ACE inhibitors, cause an average reduction of only 8 to 3 or 5 to 2 points. This makes the food in question more effective than some drugs, with the advantage of being natural and without the typical side effects associated with medicines. At this point, it is fair to ask, what food are we talking about? Well, the protagonist of these surprising results are flax seeds. These small seeds, often underestimated, are even considered by some scholars to be a miracle food. Flax seeds are an extraordinary source of omega-3, but they also contain many other beneficial substances, such as lignans, which have antioxidant and anti-cancer properties. Scientific research has shown that the lignans contained in flax seeds can act in different ways on the body, improving hormonal balance, fighting inflammation, and helping to protect the cardiovascular system. But there is a very important aspect to consider. In order to benefit from flax seeds, it is necessary to take them in the right way. In fact, if consumed whole, flax seeds pass through the digestive tract without being assimilated. In other words, if they are not chewed or crushed, the body cannot absorb their precious nutrients. The best way to use them is therefore to grind them shortly before consumption, using for example a small mincer or a coffee grinder. A modest expense that however allows you to get the most out of this food. It is also possible to chew them thoroughly, but this solution is less practical and less effective than mechanical grinding. Returning to the Canadian study, it must be said that the impressive results were partly influenced by two factors. First, the subjects involved had marked hypertension, and therefore had more room for improvement. Second, the intake of flax seeds continued for 6 months, a time sufficient to manifest the positive effects. In subsequent studies, the results were less striking, but still significant, confirming the therapeutic potential of flax seeds. Of course, there are also precautions to keep in mind. Some experts suggest not exceeding a teaspoon or tablespoon of ground flaxseed per day. Also, cooking at high temperatures can compromise the structure of lignans, so it is important to avoid cooking them above 177 degrees. If you want to add them to cakes or bread, it is advisable to keep the oven below 170 degrees to preserve their beneficial properties. The most important thing to consider, however, is that any changes to your diet should be shared with a doctor or nutritionist, especially if you are already taking medications for blood pressure. A good strategy could be to propose to your doctor a gradual integration plan of flax seeds, monitoring the trend of blood pressure over time. This approach allows you to evaluate whether it is possible, over time, to reduce the dosage of medications, replacing them partially or completely with a natural solution. In closing, there are two key messages to emphasize. The first is an invitation to spread this information. If you found what you learned useful, share it with friends and family. This simple knowledge could make a difference in the lives of many people. The second is a call to critical awareness. You should never passively accept what you read online or hear in a video. It is essential to go directly to the sources, consult the various scientific studies and build your own opinion based on concrete data. The research behind all this is public, accessible, and conducted by scientists who work every day to improve our understanding of health. This is a perfect example of useful, concrete, evidence-based scientific information that can offer a real natural alternative to treating hypertension. Please remember that this video is for informational purposes only and should not replace your doctor. If you like our videos, please like and subscribe to the channel to support our work. See you in the next video.